Russian forces launched an assault on Ukrainian positions from several directions. Couple tanks equipped with anti-drone protection gradually moved toward the village. Enemy vehicles managed to approach within range of Ukrainian artillery. A series of precise strikes by Ukrainian forces temporarily slowed the enemy's advance, but failed to stop it completely. Nonetheless, artillery fire accomplished another key task. It gained valuable time for Ukrainian FPV drone teams to mobilize. Several drone crews quickly launched their birds into the sky and began hunting down Russian vehicles. The pilot of the first kamikaze drone took the initiative, flying out to intercept. Luck was on his side. The drone hit its target exactly as planned. The second tank attempted to maneuver around its disabled counterpart, but was immediately struck by another FPV drone. But destroying two vehicles is not enough. Another wave of drones is already being prepared for the next attack. The enemy's anti-drone defenses proved effective, but Ukrainian drone operators demonstrated equal proficiency in their craft. The lead armored vehicle in the convoy required multiple direct strikes, more than 3, before being neutralized. Shortly after, a second vehicle following in its path was also destroyed. The entire convoy came under a barrage of Ukrainian drone strikes, and Russian forces began losing vehicles one after another. The increased number of drones per destroyed target is also linked to the evolving nature of Russian anti-drone defenses. Take a look at this Russian monster. This time, in an attempt to add extra protection, the Russians covered the tank's hull with a dense network of metal cables. This form of defensive modification is a recent development and had not been observed previously. Penetrating it may require significantly more effort, possibly up to 10 drones, but even then, the cost of the drones remains far lower than the value of the destroyed equipment. Given its apparent effectiveness, it is likely that such protective measures will become increasingly common on Russian armored vehicles. Several Russian tanks attempted to break through the Ukrainian defensive line at high speed. Ukrainian FPV drone teams, positioned in a pre-planned ambush, held their fire until the armor moved within effective engagement range. Give a thumbs up to the Ukrainian military for their masterful work. The strike proved to be highly effective. Exploiting a lapse in Russian vigilance, Ukrainian forces initiated systematic attacks on all enemy units that entered their operational range. The Russian soldiers quickly abandoned their armored vehicle, sensing what was coming. This time, the FPV drone operator was lucky. The fleeing soldiers had left the door open. Striking from the inside remains the most efficient and economical method for neutralizing such targets. And it didn't take long to see the result. Mix sharp flying skills with a little bit of luck, and you get a blast that speaks for itself. From the very first minutes of the assault, the Russians realized they had miscalculated their strength. Following numerous unsuccessful attempts to seize Ukrainian defensive positions in the forest, Russian forces resorted to using the UR-77 Meteorit to bombard trench lines. This vehicle is primarily designed for mine-clearing operations, but due to a shortage of weapons, the Russians are now forced to use it in offensive assaults as well.
Сейчас громко будет.
Despite launching systematic and sustained shelling, Russian forces have failed to dislodge Ukrainian defenders, who remain firmly entrenched.
Підтягуйте вперед. Це наша територія, все нормально.
For a while, the battle continued without any significant progress. Both sides exchanged fire, but neither gained the upper hand in this sector of the front. In an attempt to shift the balance, Russian forces decided to deploy the heavy flamethrower multiple launch rocket system. TOS-1 a Sontsepyok. Fortunately, Ukrainian intelligence was also active and promptly warned the troops about the incoming threat. Ukrainian forces withdrew from their positions only minutes before the barrage started, demonstrating effective coordination.
Братан, що з тобою? Брат, відходимо зі мною, братан. Не бійся, нормально все, нікого не стріляй. Пошли.
The Russians kept firing, blind to the fact that all their careful planning had made them perfect prey. Ukrainian drone pilots swooped in, not just to shield their comrades, but to strike hard at anything of value the enemy had dared to bring forward. The operation began with the precise destruction of multiple UR-77 demining vehicles using dropped bombs. Moments later, Ukrainian FPV drone pilots intercepted a Russian multiple rocket launcher that had failed to retreat in time. Although drone operators work at some distance from the front line, their job is no less dangerous than that of infantry. Both sides actively hunt FPV pilots, and the most dangerous moments are during rotations. That's when the enemy tries to catch crews off guard and strike. This time, Ukrainian forces spotted a Russian FPV drone headed directly toward them just in time, and managed to evacuate their vehicle quickly.
Летить спереді. Спереді.
The Russian pilot attempted to hit one of the soldiers but missed. As a result, all Ukrainian troops survived, and even the vehicle remained intact. These two armored vehicles attempted to break through to Ukrainian positions at high speed, but their plan failed within the first few minutes. An FPV drone struck the lead vehicle, causing the driver to lose control and veer off the road into the trees. The second pilot managed to arrive just in time and took careful aim at the stationary target to deliver a precise strike. The explosion caused significant damage, but one more hit was needed to finish the job. One the first target eliminated, the Ukrainian drone pilots turned to its partner. It didn't get far. The next wave of kamikaze drones quickly caught up and disabled it with a precise first strike. A few more targeted hits finished the job. Some of the crew managed to escape into the forest, but it's unlikely they'll survive long on foreign land without reinforcements. Not long ago, fiber optic drones were a rarity. Now, they've become commonplace. They don't fly far, sure, but they have one big advantage. They don't lose signal in thick forest. This time, Ukrainian operators skillfully and stealthily approached an enemy ammunition stockpile and destroyed it. The pilot carefully approached the target and struck where the enemy least expected it. In a similar fashion, Ukrainian operators successfully approached a Russian tank that had been deliberately concealed and presumed safe from aerial threats. While we can't confirm the exact method, based on the technical specifications of fiber optic drones, it's likely the Ukrainian crew had to take considerable risks to get within striking distance. Sometimes, guided aerial bombs fail to detonate upon impact. In one case, Russian forces dragged such a bomb directly into their own position. Expecting nothing unusual, it turned out to be a fatal mistake. The explosion was so powerful that not a trace remained of the Russian fortifications. Due to a significant shortage of equipment, the destruction of tanks and armored vehicles has become relatively rare. However, civilian cars and transport trucks remain equally important targets. The cost of a single FPV drone is significantly lower than that of any vehicle. And when you consider that these vehicles often carry valuable cargo, such as ammunition or even a fresh batch of drones being delivered to Russian units, it becomes entirely logical to target every piece of equipment that enters the sights of Ukrainian drone operators. Of course, FPV drones are now responsible for the majority of vehicle losses on both sides of the conflict. However, traditional and time-tested methods still remain effective. A Ukrainian reconnaissance drone spotted a group of Russian troops hiding in a forest, along with a Kamaz 63501AT, a specialized military vehicle designed primarily for towing 152mm howitzers and transporting ammunition. This time, it wasn't an FPV drone that did the job, but a precise artillery strike from a distance of approximately 13 kilometers. The shell struck the rear compartment of the truck, immediately igniting the ammunition stored inside. From there, it was just a matter of waiting for the flames to do their work, gradually destroying the vehicle and its valuable cargo. Ukrainian intelligence just sat back and enjoyed the fiery show through their drone cameras. These Ukrainian soldiers managed to spot a drone heading straight for them just in time. One of them even attempted to shoot it down, but unfortunately missed. The vehicle was quickly engulfed in flames, but thanks to the driver's alertness and fast reaction, all the soldiers survived without injuries. Immediately after, they rushed to the nearest tree line, because where there's one drone, more are likely to follow, and hesitation could be deadly. Another commonly used FPV tactic in recent times is the so-called FPV waiter, or sleeping FPV. This involves a regular FPV drone modified with landing legs. The operator flies it to an ambush point and leaves it there, conserving battery power while waiting for a target. These drones can often be neutralized using conventional aerial drops, but only if they're detected in time. In this footage, a Ukrainian driver managed to spot such a ground mine at the very last moment. The drone was shot down just as it attempted to take off. A few more meters, and the outcome could have been tragic.